All right, greetings. Thanks for joining us for tonight's broadcast. This is Red Pill Friday. I'll be your host. You have 15 minutes until tomorrow. Hopefully, that's helpful to those. I'm always here to give the time and the weather. It's I don't know what is it? It's 74 degrees out, if that matters. Was for some people. Okay, so another controversial night. Uh, as for the white hats, there is some white hat energy going on, definitely. But are they going to like save us and all that? I'm not sure about that. Well, they're saving us to allow us to speak and buy groceries and help us there to some level. So that's what's going on. But to save us completely, probably not. We have to save ourselves, basically. Yeah, Army Special Forces, the Green Berets. You can say the heart of the Black Ops is a strong energy for it. Let's put it that way. It's a lot of alien cover up energies. It feels like it's really sensitive there too. As for the mass arrest psyop, it's kind of a psyop, yeah, because they keep pushing like, oh, here it is, it's going to happen. The Saudis got arrested, and then they got out of jail, or you have all these secret, which is probably happening. Some are being arrested here and there quietly, but we'll never know about it. And the world has not changed all that much. You know, I guess in someone's point of view, it's changed dramatically. But for the most part, it really hasn't changed all that much. So the mass arrest energy is not exactly the healthiest way of looking at things. So the mass arrest is similar to like the human trafficking. There's two subject matters, and of course there are other subject matters that are probably going to go on forever. Meaning that the mass arrest talk, and you'll never probably see it happen. I mean, who knows? There might be maybe in a couple of thousand years that might happen. Who knows? We'll never really know. I mean, there's a lot of cloning going on. We're not getting the full picture of that either. So, you know, it's one of the many mysteries of life. I mean, unless you're in the know, which you're probably not going to be talking, publicly about any of it. And of course, if you have like actual information where things are going, yeah, you've probably been silenced. Yeah, so like, yeah, if any other Bob Lazars, we're not seeing any new Bob Lazars, probably because they're all being silenced. Everything is just being silenced. So, anyways, it's Red Pill Friday. Uh, Hope you're glad to be here. Glad to be here. So, I feel like the Special Forces is this is it still feels like this is the heart of this disclosure movement, and realize a lot of these guys are in the Special Forces are messed up mentally. Not all of them, but they've been through a lot. And then they come out talking about aliens. I don't know if they even care. I mean, they've been through so much. I don't know if they can even comprehend what reality is. What I mean, it all. Some of it's speculation, some of it isn't. It's just a fragile subject matter. But that's the heart of a lot of this. Sorry, we'll see what we can pick up here. So I'm told to comment private sessions. Yeah, schedule. We have a shop here. I forget. I don't know. I'm in May. I'm still in March somewhere. We have that. We have the same situation here. We have webinar tomorrow. We have the Discord and behind the scenes. And we have the conference coming up in 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks. Yep, 2 weeks. And also, if you want to sign up with me, the session with me, Of course, they have a sign up here for everything, tickets and things of that kind. I think they have 1 day ticket situation now. Yeah, 1 day pass. So should be different for sure. So into the heart of it all. You have your Green Berets. Of course, you never hear about these guys. Gee, I wonder why. I mean, majority of it is black ops, and it feels like, and these guys are really misused a lot. They're used for things they should not be doing. They're just it's like puppets of the elite, basically, like us all. But this is where they ground the dirty work. Definitely, of course, the CIA and all that's another version of that. But the alien and Africa feels like there's a lot of things doing that they're doing that's actually illegal, technically. Things they should not be doing. Africa, all of Africa, well, maybe not every part of Africa, but they don't feel like it feels like they don't even need to be there, but it feels like they're doing a lot of illegal things there. Drug smuggling, whatever it might be. There is some alien frequencies there. Actually, Cambodia. I don't think there's going to be any UFO stuff. Let's see, UFO. Hey, wherever that is. Yeah, UFO. Oh, interesting. UFO. Oh, that's Vietnam. That's back in 2008. UFO explosion. Interesting. But Cambodia seems to be a hot spot for UFO energies for right now, at least. Of course, we'll never know. That's the fun of all this. We'll never know anything. I mean, you can tap into it all day long, but it's no way to verify. It'd be nice if you could verify, but a lot of stuff is off limits for obvious reasons. So just leave it there for tapping in. Just Cambodia itself looks pretty alien as it is. But there is definitely a lot of alien activity out in this area currently. When I connect, when I connect to the special forces, like I say, they're doing a lot of stuff they should not be doing out there. Let's see. Afghanistan. Oops, Afghanistan. Yeah, Afghanistan's a lot of underground bases that they go into. Um, yeah, there's now interesting though. Yeah, underground bases here definitely. Special forces. Is it Baghdad bag? How do I spell Baghdad? No, special forces. Special forces. Interesting though. I feel like what the hell am I looking at? Either way, special forces and that's lovely. Yeah, special forces in Iraq. Iraq is like a center point. It's uh it's like a headquarters. For what? I don't know. What are they doing? Good question, but a bunch of illegal once again, it's all illegal. Technically. I mean, they're told it's legal, but I don't think any of it's legal at all. So yeah, and there's alien energies. Yeah, Iraq somewhere. There's bases all, of course, alien bases are around, but Iraq seems to be like the special forces. They're just abusing Iraq's rights and all that. They don't care. Yeah, it's like they're spying on Iraq. It's not that they're finding anything that interesting, but it's like Iraq is a center point for uh, our government doing what they should not be doing. So that's another reason why going into Iraq was to take over it so they can mess with it anytime they feel like it. Of course, in the media, they're gonna say they're not doing anything, but actually they are. So, yeah, they're doing in Africa, they're just all over Africa, it feels like. That's Afghanistan, but yeah, they're everywhere. Just and you know, I'm gonna add this anyway, but I did, before I started channeling and all that, I did know somebody that knew someone that worked at the Air Force Base that worked with the payroll for the military, and she saw that they're being sent to, I believe it was Africa, but you see no news about it at all, nothing. So yeah, it's definitely secret ops all through Africa, doing all God knows what. Just I can see them hiding alien materials, or yeah, just it's just a rich man's game, basically. Yeah, I mean the elite run the military, obviously, but the special forces, they're that's the elitist. This is the elitist army for sure. Doing all this, it's not clear exactly what they're doing, of course, but you know, especially when other countries call out the U.S. for crimes against humanity, boy, they're right. Of course, the army is told to that it's all good and everything, but it really isn't. And another hotbed is Iran. I guess they're trying to go to a war with Iran. So we have people there too, obviously. I don't know if I'm gonna show anything there. Eh, Either way, we have a lot of stuff in Iran too currently. Gee, that's a nice look for jeez. That's just lovely. Jeez. That's lovely too. I didn't know about that. It just gets better and better, doesn't it? So yeah, this is the puppet show that's going on right now. Yeah, there's a lot of US energies in there, Iran for sure. Doesn't mean they're gonna go into a huge war or anything like that, but they're definitely, and the CIA is running a lot of this, of course, behind the scenes. So lovely. But yeah, for alien energies, alien anything, it still goes back to Area 51. It's still, I don't care what any of these guys say. Area 51 seems to be some kind of alien hub. I mean, I think there's others like Area 52, 53 somewhere, but Area 51 seems to be where they still do alien. Of course, they don't like walk to the front door and say here's a spaceship or anything, but they do it all off grid, all quietly. But it feels like it still gets funneled into Area 51 in some form or another for reasons. It's because they have technologies there. They have the equipment to study ships and things like that. There, it's like they probably do have it in other facilities where they have alien tech to scan alien tech. But Area 51 seems like that's where all the heavy artillery is, but it's all underground or S4 or something like that. Yeah, it's all just buried, of course, black ops. And like I said, they do mess with the dimensions, the energy around Area 51, so they can hide stuff. I don't know how they do it, but yeah, they're like, it's like they mess with people's brains. They mess with your thinking. They can remove a thought from you. Like you're going to Area 51 and all of a sudden your mind goes blank. All of a sudden you can't think clearly. That's them messing with it. That doesn't mean they do it to everybody. But if they think you're a threat, if you're just a person there to take a picture of it or something, they're not going to do anything. But if you're there to like mess, like psychically mess with the place and tap into it, they'll know. Somebody will know there. They might not pick up on you instantly, but somebody can pick up on your intentions, at least an alien energy, because there's definitely a lot of alien energies around it. There's definitely alien ships above it too. above Area 51. You can't see them obviously, but they're always scouting the area. It's part of the war zone. I feel like there's also aliens there that have been taken hostage too. Yeah, that gets a little bit sketchy there. It'd be nice to be able to prove some of this stuff. Yeah, I definitely feel aliens being taken hostage, and not just people, but actually aliens themselves. Yeah, because when their ships do get so the ships do get knocked down too, shot down, but it's kept in the fourth dimension. How that works, but why would they bring it to Area 51 for to bring the energy into the third dimension to lower the vibration of a ship where they can see it physically and start messing with it. Now, it doesn't mean they're doing it now. Yeah, something to do about the holidays. Like our Earth holidays, they do it on holiday, like when you have fireworks or something. Well, even like we have Easter coming up, it feels like the skies are a little bit more vulnerable, uh, and where they can track ships a little bit better, the ones that they want. So there's alien ships the government wants, and they find ways of getting them by shooting them down, most likely. And we'll never know. I would say, now this is probably a stretch, but it feels like when they shoot the ships, it can cause. This is a stretch, but it feels like it can cause an earthquake in some places. It all depends on where it is. I can just feel that energy of it. So yeah, obviously, once again, proving any of this is difficult, but yeah, it's like it's, I know it sounds a little strange there, but yeah, it might not be a huge earthquake, but it's like a little, it's like the sound technology that they use can cause a ripple in the ground. It can cause difficulties. So California seems to have a lot of it. Of course, Nevada's not too far from California, so it's all right. Yeehaw! It's funny. Yeah, it's always interesting. I mean, they say there's no aliens out here, but I don't know. It feels like they're not just manifesting. There's something there. Yeah, it's like there's alien tech underground that's very unusual. Now, like Dolce I talked about before. Uh, oops, this is Dolce. Dolce, yeah, all right. Yeah, this is Dolce is just. It's like away from heaven. It's like so disconnected from light. It's just basically darkness. And all these special forces guys, they do work definitely in Dulce. If it's any, yeah, and they do have like little Dulces around the world, and that would be Africa. The cloning. So Africa is another. I would say Iraq, but Iraq is like where there's probably cloning there somewhere. But Africa, uh, yeah, it seems to be. Let's see if there's anything with cloning. Probably not. Yeah, probably not. But either way, underground. Yeah, because Africa is just a war zone, right? I mean, how many people are going to Africa just for a summer vacation? Yeah, it looks like it's a real friendly place. But I believe underground. I mean, think about it, it's like kind of like a movie. You have this third world country that's done by design, and underground they're doing cloning of some kind. I mean, you have Bill Gates over there. I mean, how is that really all that hard to believe? Not really. I mean, you don't have. I mean, it's such a war zone. It's not all of Africa. There's certain places. Let's see, Africa. So one place that does come to mind there's several places where they do cloning. I'm just going by the energy of it. Nigeria. Yeah, it's something to do with Nigeria. Like I said, it's underground. I didn't know they had dinosaur stuff there. Cool. I feel like they have dragons there too. And giants. Not that they have giants here in our reality, but they definitely had giants there at one time. Yeah, it feels like Nigeria, like out in the desert areas, they have some kind of clone. It would never really know. I don't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Chad too. All this. Chad, Nigeria seems like a strong one. Algeria to some levels, some cloning energies there. Let's see, where's Bill Gates usually? So Bill Gates in Africa. Eh, I have to look further into that. It's like where they work, where they go, Johannesburg. Yeah, that's not where the cloning is going. I don't feel, but it's this is where their offices are. So I don't think it's Johannesburg, but yeah, wherever they have their so-called helping people in Africa, the Bill Melinda Gates. Yeah, it is related to cloning to a certain level. Obviously, they're creating diseases too. They're actually creating, no surprise there, right? Deforming people too, shutting them down. Not everybody, to certain people, but it feels like the Gates, you know, the foundation's also to make people smarter too. Genetic engineering. It doesn't always work though. It can turn people into freaks and things like that. So obviously, that's been covered up. They do a lot of manipulations also in India. Now, cloning, there's a lot of underground bases in India for sure. There are underground bases everywhere, but India is another hot spot. That's a lot of human trafficking in India. No surprise there, right? Usually it's around the water, the ocean areas, but because they can get out of there, they get in, get out. They do a lot of selling of people, obviously too. Bangladesh, definitely. Burma, sort of. Vietnam, kind of. India seems like the stronger energy for human trafficking. Of course, Africa also. I mean, obviously, human trafficking is everywhere, but India seems to be a hot spot, definitely. At least to move them in and move them out. China obviously is. Yeah. Speaking of human cloning, of course, China's going through a lot of the virus manipulation that's happening here. There's definitely special forces there too. There's special forces in China, India. China feels like they're doing some genetic engineering with the people. Yeah, wipe them out is part of it, but also, yeah, just changing the DNA of the people. It feels like they're trying to make some of their people immune to viruses altogether. I don't think it's working out so well over there, though. But they definitely have a good connection to North Korea because they do some kind of genetic engineering in North Korea also. So it feels like North Korea can do things that China can't do. China can get away with a lot, but I feel like North Korea can get away with anything. It feels like there's some lab experiments that are going on. They're not exactly the most positive. Yeah, it feels really bad actually. Cloning is not clear. China definitely has cloning. China has probably the strongest cloning energy there. What's interesting though, it feels like you can make a Joe Biden there. It's funny. I think it's funny. Like Joe Biden's breaking down all the time. He was made in China. Does that remind you of other China goods? It really feels like there's a Biden clone made there, or several of them. It's not clear. Of course, I felt Dolce. but they can make them in other places too for various different reasons. I know it's a little bit out there for all this is out there for some people, but yeah, I definitely feel a China influence. Either they put like China tech into Biden or some people like somebody like Biden, they can actually own them and do whatever they want with them, which is really kind of messed up. So you had the his little bird crap. I don't think it's good luck for him. He's all if he gets any good luck, that means he can wake up in the morning. He's so screwed up. But Biden's pretty much. I mean, he feels like he's been made in China. I can definitely see that. I mean, it certainly does explain him breaking down all the time. I mean, yeah, you have clones in Dolce, but what if some China group bought him? Like actually bought him and they're running him. I mean, I could see them doing that. Like we'll put our software in, and it's always breaking down and all that because I don't think it's that expensive. Not this guy. They got him from a bargain basement price on a Biden clone. That's complicated. I mean, even the queen herself can be bought, obviously, right? You know what's interesting about the queen, though? Feels like if there's anybody, the Saudis are influencing her a lot. So whatever clone that is, obviously it's a designer clone. Probably one of the best cloning technology there is put on the queen here. And I just see a major, major Saudi influence there. Now the Rothschilds most likely run her and British intelligence. She's just a puppet basically at this point. Of course she's always has been. But yeah, just the best cloning money can buy, basically. So I wonder if any birds crapped on her recently. Probably keep her away from all that. No bird crapping on the. Not going to crap on the queen, are we? But yeah, these clone people, obviously, I mean, people are buying people, right, of influence, power, but you can buy the queen. I don't know how they do it, but they do it, and they influence all this stuff. So, but like Biden, I definitely feel like the queen's been bought. That's pretty much obvious. But the Biden's definitely been bought, obviously. Everybody's been bought in power to a certain level. But to go back to the special forces energy, so another thing about the special forces, these guys are used as obviously guinea pigs. So they put them, at least the ones that like have really good DNA, so they can splice it. This is messed up with animal DNA and really screw them up. So I think they do want people to populate the world. They want people to have kids so they can mess with them. Especially have a kid. So this is more messed up. I mean, this is pretty obvious. So like people are having kids. Obviously, they want to have you to have a kid that was like a super soldier, so they can mess with all that. And they can keep an eye on your kid, and then your kid joins the army and all. They can actually follow your line. You can follow your kid from birth into going into the army and all. They can follow all of that because actually they prepare it. Now, whether your kid joined the army or not, I feel like they can influence it to a certain level. So, and then hey, we got that's pretty deep state. But I could definitely see them doing that. I mean, how hard is that? They just have to be really patient. So, I mean, they even somehow assist with what kids eat and all of that to make sure they turn into like a bodybuilder and stuff like that. I mean, how is that all that hard to believe? Not really. Like certain places, you have super soldier people, and other places, you have people that are, you know, obese and falling apart. It's all done by design. It's pretty messed up, but that's how they're doing it. I mean, California is a place where they're trying to keep the people at a healthy level. That's all. It's complicated to get into that. Um, but yeah, uh, cloning energies. I mean, like I said, definitely Iraq is the headquarters of something. Alien tech. I can definitely see alien tech underground, deep underground stuff. They'll never. I mean, how they keep this stuff quiet? Yeah, they just take people out. How they keep it quiet? All of a sudden, oh look, this person's all of a sudden feeling sick, or that person has cancer, or whatever. They have their ways, and they can mess with your mind. They can remove thoughts and all that. Bob Lazar, he got away. I think. Well, Bob Lazar, obviously, people like him or hate him or whatever. Whatever you say, either way, he was there to talk about Area 51, no matter what. So you can say it's kind of like a Snowden, but I believe a lot of the stuff he did say, there is a lot of truth to it. I mean, who else is going to talk about this shit? Nobody talks about this stuff. So at least with Snowden, Snowden really talked about some things, you know, but yeah, these guys are still alive for a reason. Of course, his life isn't so easy, especially when he has this hovering over him his whole life. But I mean, he was allowed to talk. He was allowed to do what he did. This ain't the Black Cats probably tried to take him out. I think they did a couple of times, but I feel like they were stopped. Because sometimes darkness needs light. But like Dulce, you have rumors about Dulce. Of course, we have Philip Schneider that talked about it. See where that went. Well, I feel like, yeah. Jeez, I can't type anything. Whatever. um, yeah, with Philip Schneider, Philip Schneider obviously was not supposed to be. Let's see, Philip. I talked to my wife, Schneider. Yeah, that's not Sniper, it's Schneider. Whatever, UFO. See if it figures it out. There you go. No, not shopping. Obviously, Philip Schneider, you know, was talking about things you know, they really obviously did not want that out. What's the difference between Bob Lazar and Schneider? Because they would have did the same thing to Bob Lazar, but Schneider, I guess, was going a little bit too. And it's Dulce. Dulce, they don't want to talk about that at all. It just, I don't think he was planned to be. They didn't want. Yeah, I mean, so with where is he? Bob Lazar, he was more planned. It feels like, at least by the good guys. Something there. He was just allowed to do it. Schneider came out of nowhere. I didn't. Yeah, they didn't want. I feel like they were taking out some of his team little by little. So he talked for a couple of weeks or months or a couple months, but either way, yeah, it just Lazar was protected basically. And people might not remember things here and there, but either way, because of him, we know about Area 51. So, but that was definitely helped. But with Schneider, yeah, it's Dulce. And Dulce is a tough one to prove and all that because it's all a touchy subject. But the cloning stuff is pretty messed up. But eventually, it'll start to come out over time. Just not yet. But special forces guys are guinea pigs. I mean, technically, we're guinea pigs ourselves to a certain level, but these guys are really the guinea pigs, unfortunately. Yeah, they're built up to be either part of the war or used for DNA experiments and things like that. I mean, you can get your average person for that too, but they want certain type of DNA that they're going to mix with some other DNA to do whatever they're going to do. So yeah, it's pretty messed up. Yeah, they don't care until they get caught. I guess when they do this evil stuff and then they donate to like a charity or something to make up for all the evil they've done. The elites that are involved with this. Interesting though. Huh, no surprise there. The Lockheed Martin, like the people that are like the secret board or behind the scenes or whatever, they know about this shit. They're really high up. I just felt Lockheed Martin. They know they keep Los Alamos too. Yeah, laboratory. They know some things to a certain level. I think the atomic bomb and all that was designed there to certain some atomic energy was done there at one time. Yeah, we don't hear about Los Alamos ever. Lockheed know about DNA being screwed up with these guys and all that. Somebody at the high up, very extremely high up. Obviously, they don't talk about it. Yeah, that you say high up of Lockheed Martin. That's more like your MJ-12 position. I mean, I'm talking about high up. Like you can't get to these people. I mean, I don't think it's a CEO. I think it's higher than that. I mean, that's where alien tech finds its way in eventually. So that's why Elon Musk. I mean, he's all right, but he's too public to really know. I mean, he might know some things, but he's too public. You need to be really hidden to know anything. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful in some form. Obviously, can't prove all this stuff. Can't just fly over Africa and do us. Yeah, just good luck with that. But Africa, I mean, the Bill and Melinda, whatever her name, Gates. That's all linked to cloning to some level. So, which we'll probably never find out about. But either way, all right. So, all right. Blessings. Have a good night.